I plan on going into clinical research when I graduate, so when Ms. Tobin gave me the idea to talk about animal testing, I couldn't pass it up. So, yeah, the overview of what I'm going to talk about today is that animal testing is most likely not nearly as bad as how you think it is. Pharmaceutical testing done on animals has contributed to many medical breakthroughs today, and it will probably always. And then still to this day, the Army does live tissue trauma training, which says a lot about it. So yeah, most of what you know, or like what's broadcasted online and we see about animal testing is through PETA, which is like extreme and usually not always true, and they want you to believe it. I'm not that good about explaining why it's so important, so we'll watch this video. It's kind of long, so we won't watch the whole thing.
Why is it necessary to test potential medicines on animals?
We do medical research to save human lives and to prevent people suffering. A small but vital part of that involves the use of animals.
Can't we test them on cells and tissue culture and do computer modelling?
We already make good use of alternatives, and most research is now done in computers, cell cultures, or human volunteers, but there are times when we still need to use animals because, for example, you can't study a beating heart in a test tube, you can't get your computer to cough.
But aren't animals different to people?
There are, of course, differences between humans and animals, but there are also remarkable similarities. We share, for example, over 90% of our genes just with a mouse, and many of the major biological systems in an animal, from digestion to the cardiovascular system, these work in the same way with humans.
But if we're so similar, why is it that many drugs that are successful in animal trials go on to fail in human trials?
Testing on new medicines, both using animals and the alternatives, is remarkably effective, so that virtually all new modern medicines, when they go on the market, are safe and effective.
If animal testing was banned, surely the medical community could cope.
Any ban on the use of animals would be disastrous for biomedical research. It would grind gradually to a halt and would send us back to the dark days when, for example, the last time we gave a medicine to people that wasn't probably tested on animals was thalidomide.
Surely many animal tests are cruel, causing pain and suffering.
It would be wrong to gloss over the fact that animals do suffer in research for the benefit of people, but much of this discomfort is mild, and it's similar to when you take your pet to the vet. It might involve sampling of blood or minor operations.
All right, so when I was doing my research, a lot of, like, two main points that were really, like, prevalent, I guess, was that, in animal testing is like the last resort. Like they do like human volunteers, computers, and then cell cultures, and it's very like misunderstood. People think that the researchers don't care about the animals, but they do, and oftentimes the research they're doing is actually to help the animals as well as humans, like because a lot of the diseases we have they can get as well. Pharmaceutical testing done on animals has contributed to many medical breakthroughs. As a matter of fact, I think it's like 70% of Nobel Prizes in medicine have depended on the use of animal testing in their studies. A few examples are blood transfusions in, like, I think it was like 1907, blood transfusions were perfected using the use of dogs, and like open heart surgery wouldn't be even possible without blood transfusions. Tuberculosis was a common cause of death in dogs and humans in the, I think, early 1900s, and they found the first effective antibiotic treatment to save like millions of lives. And then breast cancer is another one. It'll affect 1 in 11 women in their lifetime, and they did animal testing with rats, and now it's the second most, like, what's the word? So yeah, survivable female cancer. Others are like Parkinson's, diabetes, and asthma. I thought that this was super, super interesting. Like, if you add up like these two, it's like 27 million mice, rats, and birds are killed a year through animal testing. But if you look at like how many chickens we kill for food a year, like if you're against animal testing, you may as well just be vegetarian because more of them are killed a year. And in probably worse ways. Let's see. The last main point is that the military still uses animal testing. Live tissue trauma is training in the form of animal testing in which medics in the military use real animals to prepare for deployment. Changes in the types of injuries that are that occur on the battlefield nowadays have started, and most injuries are from IUDs, which are like bombs in the ground. Like so, shrapnel will get caught in their torso and limbs, and it'll cause severe penetrating, and it will result in massive hemorrhages. And massive hemorrhages are the most preventable common cause of death in the military right now. And using animals like goats and pigs to practice like how to save these people is like the most important way to practice so that they can react in a better way to save the soldiers on the battlefield. Also, monkeys are used. It's called chemical weapons defense research, where the monkeys are anesthetized, but they're still alive clearly, and they're administered like small doses, non-lethal doses of like chemicals that they can just see like how to recoup them from that. Actually, my boyfriend was a medic in the military, and he said that when he went through training with live tissue training, it was like the best way. So like when he was deployed, it was like he remembered most of what he learned from that, and it really helped him when saving people at war. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, if you don't think that animal testing is a good thing to do, then just think about medicines you take on a daily basis and the fact that they were probably tested on animals and how your life would be different without them, really.